Hello and welcome to the Home and Learn video tutorial for VisualBasic.net. I'm Kenny Carney and we are going to continue with our array lesson. And if you still have your form, and I want you to add a second button. This is button 2, and the text is times table, and also add a text box. You can leave it on text box 1, and for the text we'll add a 5. So we're going to do a times table program. A times table. I've already added some variables at the top for my button 2, but add these dim numbers. I'll tell you what, we'll do that as 9. Alright, because I want 10 positions. So we want the 1 times 5, 2 times 5, right up until 10 times 5. So 0 to 9 is 10 positions. They're short, short, short. And first thing you can do if you want to clear a list box, because there might be something in it, right? Items, then you can add clear that one, and that will erase all the items in your list box. It will clear it. And for the times, we can get that value from the text box. We can have a val just to convert it to a value. Text box 1 and dot text. Right, so that puts that 5 into times. That's going to be our times table. Let me give some space. Now I want a for loop. I'm going for. I'm going to go around each position of the array and fill it. For I equals to 0. That will be the first position in the array. 2, and it's numbers.length. How many items in the array? I want a -1 as well. And that will get me 0 to 9. Next, I like to put next I. That's makes it more clear. And I want those numbers I. That's on the left hand side of an equal sign. So that's going to go through each position in my array. And I want to fill it with a value. But what value do I need? Well, I want I could put I multiplied by times, right? So whatever is in here, I'll multiply it by the times, which will be 5. So that first position is 0. So I don't need that. It will be 0 times 5. So I want to add 1 to this one. Right, let me put some round brackets in there. So I plus 1. 0 plus 1 is obviously 1. Times 5. I can store the answer in that list box. List box 1 dot item and item. Items dot add. Now let me have a look at one. Times. So that would be like 5. And let's see some text. These are always tricky, these. Spaces, yeah, space there, space there. Now my ampersand again. Now I want that I plus 1 again. Plus 1. And another ampersand. Let me have an equal sign. Equals, and what is it going to equal? Another ampersand. Boy, a lot of these. And then the array, numbers. And then I. Right, that's quite a lengthy line. So that would be 5. I was then 5 times the array position, I plus 1, so it'll be 1 first. So you'd have 5 times 1 first time around equals, and whatever is at numbers I, number 0 in the array, whatever I have filled in there. So the first time around it will be 1 multiplied by 5. Let's see the results, if that makes no sense. Let's see what the results are. Times tables, 5, click the button. There we go, 5 times 1 equals 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. 5 times 3, right up until 5 times 10 equals 50. I hope that made sense for you. It is a little bit complicated. If I wanted to, I could do So this is a little bit confusing, that I plus 1. I could do this, like 10, but now I've got 11 positions in the array, 0 to 10. But it would make more sense to actually read it. What else do I need to delete that? And if I delete that, the problem you have here is that first position in the array, numbers 0, that will be going to waste. So we jump in straight to the 1. Numbers 1 would be 1 times 5. Let's see if we don't get any errors. Oh, 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 10. So if it's going to make more sense for you, rather than having 9 and going I plus 1 and I plus 1 all the time, you can, if you like, skip the first position in the array, if you like, position 0. It doesn't mean that position 0 is going to waste. But sometimes it makes more sense to skip that first position, which it does here. I'm going 1 to the length minus 1. I'm just going 1 multiplied by times as opposed to I plus 1. I don't have to reconfigure things. Now what I want you to do is to design a form like this one. I've already paused the video and actually designed this. So we've got the 5, that's text box 1 again. And I've added the label. Which times table do you want? That's 5. Start at 1, end at 10. This one, text box 2, and text box 3 you need to add. That is the same button as before. You can delete your first button if you like. And the list box is exactly the same. Alright, so what I want to do here, obviously I want to click the button and I want the 5 times table. I want to start at 1 and I want to end at 10. So let me have a look at the code. Let me add 2 more variables for those other 2 text boxes. I'll do dim start at as short dim end at as short as well, just like we did before at the times one. The file text box 1 we need start at equals file text box 2 dot text likewise do end at there it is, an equals sign, oops, I'm beat well, text box 3 dot text. Right, so I'm getting the start value from the text box 2 and the end value from here, text box 3. So instead of starting I equals 1, I can put I equals start at, and 2, instead of saying numbers dot length, I can do end at. And might actually need -1, but we won't for the time being. And storing there I times table. Let me run this one. I'll see what happens. Have I done anything wrong? Which timetables do I want? 5. That's going to be stored here. Start at. That's going to be stored in the start at variable, and the end at variable is coming from this text box. And fill in the array. I hope I am. Times table. There we go. So I could change. Let me see. If I wanted the 10 times table. 10 times table. There we go. That's changed. The power of arrays. What if I want to just start at say 2? 2. 10 times 2. If I want to end at, I'll be 12. Oop. No. Reason there's that index out of range exception that was unhandled. Right, so we put 12 inside there. And the reason we got the error was because of this. I've dimmed numbers 10. So in other words, I haven't got enough positions in that array, so that's why we got the error. You need to fix that. You can change the value of the array at runtime. So it's arrays where the boundaries are not known, so we don't know the maximum boundary there, and you can change that. If you don't know how many positions there are going to be in the array, you can simply delete the numbers. So I've got numbers there, right? And then I can do something called redim, which is that one. Let's change this variable if you like. Then I want numbers. Now we're round brackets again. And I want that end at. So if that was a 12 typed in here, it's going to be 12 positions from the array. So instead of 10 in there, it's going to be 12. Might be too many positions, but let's see if that works. I've redimmed the array. I'll debug in, see if I get that. Start at 1, 8 down to 12. We'll keep it on 5. And there we go. 5 times 12 equals 60. If you're not sure how many positions you want in the array, start with just a pair of round brackets with nothing in between for your array. That sets up the array. And you need this. Redim. Then you want the name of the array and the new value. The new value is coming from here, from the text box. So I could put anything I like in there, hopefully. Let me end at 100. Start at 1. Oh, there we go. Look at all those. 5 times 100. And I think we will leave it there for arrays. I will see you in the next lesson.